We have had a very lazy afternoon. It's rained all day, so any of the things that I was going to do today that required me to leave the house, I decided not to do, and have spent the last couple of hours binging and just like that because I was very behind. So I was like, right, get myself up to date. The cardboard box that they're playing with at the moment. But I am now desperate for a wee, and I can't bring myself to move her because she looks so peacefully asleep. Although, I talk to Susie and Juno out loud all the time, and I just said to Juno, "Oh, I'm pretty desperate for a wee now, Juno." And I kid you not, she turned her head, just looked at me with disgust, and then turned it back again and went straight back to sleep. But I'm at that point now where I can't. I've just started reading actually, Confessions by Catherine Airy, and I'm like really hooked, which is a nice feeling. I've not had this feeling with the start of a book for a long time, but I'm at the point now of needing a wee so desperately. I can't concentrate on reading properly. I also can't really concentrate on the TV. So I figured, I'll just ramble to you guys because that will take my mind off it. But I think I'm gonna have to move. I picked up from the framer yesterday. Finally! I love it. It looks so good. The frame's a really dark brown, which you can't really tell until the sun starts to shine through this window and then it lights up the frame a bit. It looks so good. I'm so pleased to finally have a picture up in here. So we also picked up this from the framer. This is a Winifred Nicholson print that we got. I think we got it from the Tate in St Ives. And then behind it is a print that we got in Bruton in Somerset. That came actually as a pair. The other one is above the toilet. So we were thinking of putting the other one here so that when you're on the toilet, you can look at gemstones. And then this one will go here. So I found a cabinet to go in the corner there. So it will either sit on the wall above the cabinet or maybe just propped up against the wall. I'm not sure yet. And then the mirror should be here in the next few days. I need to chase that up actually. I ordered that a couple of weeks ago. And then after that, the next thing, that's it almost done. It will be changing this temp light and then getting the wall light installed. But it's very much a functioning bathroom. It's just a bit weird without a mirror and there's no storage. So there's not much stuff in here at the moment. But once we get storage, I can bring some more stuff into here and then I can dress the top of the cabinet with like a vase. And I think once I have another picture up, it'll look really nice. I need to actually add stuff around the bath as well. I also really want one of those bath caddies as well. That'd be great. The sun has very kindly returned. I have to say though, it was like 4 days of rain. They were quite cozy. Not that I am kind of looking forward to autumn yet at all. I'm still very much enjoying summer, but having not had rain for so long and the humidity had just built and built and built, it was a nice reset and it felt cozy. But my job this morning is garden maintenance because during all of that rain, there were some quite strong winds as well. And we've got this big tree that sits on our, kind of just outside of our boundary. It's not on our boundary, but because the tree is so big, it kind of hangs over like a large portion of our garden. So we get a lot of broken branches, a lot of leaves. So I'm just going to go out and check the kind of state of everything because I imagine there will be a lot of branches and a bit of tidying up to do, and just kind of check that everything is doing okay. From the looks of it, everything loved all of that rain. Just when I thought the front section where all of those, like the fennel is and those really tall flowers couldn't get any bigger, it's like they are now kind of competing with Dean's height. Like they could be taller than Dean in the next few weeks. Like they've surpassed my height, which is pretty wild because Semper came in May. Yeah. Crazy. I haven't done my makeup just to do gardening, by the way. Realised that I feel like I look quite done just for going out in the garden, but I've got other things to do today, so I thought I'll get my makeup done first thing and then I can just crack on with all of my jobs. I always feel like putting on lipstick makes me look a lot more polished, but I'm really into On Teebs again. It is a really good kind of like everyday colour, but I did just see that they've restocked Beverly Hills lip liner, so I'm thinking I might do a double order because it was out of stock for so long. So then that way I've got a bit of a backup. I like to just like smudge it a bit so that it's not such a defined line, because it's that Beverly Hills lip liner is just, it's so good. So yeah, I'll probably do a top up order. Something else I'm going to do actually in this vlog is I'm on the hunt for like a very specific fit of navy t-shirt, something cropped and a little bit boxy. I have a short torso, so t-shirts can often be a tricky one. They're nearly always too long for me, and I was thinking actually I could probably just buy a nice navy t-shirt and maybe take it up a bit, but I was like, actually I'll go on a hunt first for this desired fit, and if I can't find it then I could just do an adjustment to a t-shirt. But I got this quite sort of like slim fitting one recently, and I have worn this so much, and it made me realise that actually a navy t-shirt is something that has kind of been missing. Like I've got plenty of white but not navy, which is surprising because I love navy so much. So I was like, actually I'm going to go on a little bit of a hunt now to find a slightly boxier navy t-shirt, because this is really nice but it is quite slim fitting. You're probably going to think it is absolutely ludicrous to be doing wood stain samples in a white shirt, and I would be inclined to agree with you. However, I think I have a skill. No matter what situation, I can keep a white shirt clean. I think it's something that's actually worthy of going on my CV. So I'm doing some very well divided stain sampling for our kitchen, because we've undertaken the job of basically building it, not building the entire kitchen ourselves, but doing all the cupboard fronts ourselves, and we're staining. We've decided we're going to stain birch, but finding the right stain, oh man. I've got more stains that I want to order. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So far, nothing is really jumping out at me, but we need to do 2 coats of them all, and then we have to put like a wax over the top to seal them. So at the moment they look really dull because there's only been 1 coat, but once they've had 2 coats and they've been sealed with a wax, they will look very different. But yeah, so it's quite a process. It's not just a case of whacking on a bit of stain. You've got to sand, stain, wax, sand, wax again. You also have to brush away the excess in between each staining as well. And they look terrible when you first put them on. You have to really sort of like trust the process with this kind of stuff. But yeah, there are still many, many more stains that I need to order, because I want to get it just right. Being very particular. I said was it in the last vlog actually, I'm trying to basically get something that looks like the same colour as our the legs on our dining chairs, which I think it's a walnut, maybe. But yeah, so trying to fake that on a birch, it's tough, but it can be done. I've seen it done on many kitchens, but it's just a process of finding the right stain, basically. Continuing the furniture chat, I have been at home all day waiting for a furniture delivery. I wasn't given a time slot, I was just given the day, and it's now 5:45 p.m. Still not here, and I'm wondering at what point do I just call it a day? I feel like 6 p.m. is a good sort of like cut-off point, and I can allow myself to leave the house. Because normally I feel like you get like a 9 till 6 slot, so I don't have any contact details. It's all been a bit strange. I literally just got an email and was like, when do you want it delivered? And I said, Thursday. And they're like, okay, great. And that's it. I don't have any driver details or anything. So if it doesn't come today, hopefully it comes tomorrow. It's an exciting delivery for me because it is something to do with my coffee machine. But yeah, I want to go out for a run, and Dean's currently out, so that's why I'm a bit like, I don't know whether to go out, but I don't know. I won't go far. They can call me and I can just try and like run back home really fast if they're prepared to wait. That's if they were to just like appear once I leave. Every vehicle that like comes down the road, I'm like, is that them? Is that them? This segway's nice. What? Come on over here. The stain, I was going to say, this segues nicely into just a little stain update. Still haven't found the one. Some of them have potential. I feel like on camera they look a little bit nicer than they do in real life. This one definitely had potential, but that was 2 coats of the stain. And I feel like it needs a third to really like make it pop. And I'm like, 3 coats of stain. Doing that on an entire kitchen would just, I think that's a bit much. This one also had great potential, but I don't know, I wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant. That's probably the closest to what, it looks really dark. Maybe that's a bit better. I just wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant. This one here, in real life, it's really orange. It almost looks like the wood's just been painted with literally just orange paint. Those 3 in the middle, non-contenders. This one also had great potential, but it's a little bit too yellow toned, and then that one at the end was too dark. And then this was a recent one. That hasn't been oiled yet, so it will probably change once it's oiled. Again, that looks really, in real life, really orange. So the hunt continues. I will order some more. We'll get there. It's just, we don't want to settle for something that's almost what we're looking for. But we're confident that we will have the kitchen finished by the end of August. We've kind of given ourselves that as a deadline because we go on holiday at the end of August. So we would love for all of the kitchen to be finished by then. So then when we get back off holiday, we know that we can just enjoy the kitchen and then just work our way through the rest of the things that need to be done, like this door frame. Oh, that sounded like kind of like, because I know it's going to be like a big, you know, like a lorry or something, you know, like a big vehicle. So any sort of like large standing vehicle, I'm like, that was quite frankly one of the most horrible runs I've been out on recently. I felt like I was literally dragging 2 lumps of concrete along with me. Yet 3-4 days ago I went for a run and I literally felt like I was flying. I didn't even think about, you know, sometimes I'll go for a run and like putting one leg in front of the other isn't something that even like comes into my mind, it just happens. And then other runs like today, it's like every single step is acknowledged and feels hard. And my balance as well felt completely off. I felt like I was like tipping forward the whole time, as if I was just gonna like fall over. But as I always say, I never regret a run, but that was really hard to keep going. That was because I think a lot of the time it is like a mind over matter thing, and I tried and I pushed, and I was like, get in the right headspace, get in to the correct headspace. That's all you need to do, and even that didn't work. I dragged myself to 4 kilometres. Felt like I ran 40. But that is the ebbs and flows of running. One can feel like you are literally Usain Bolt, and the other one can feel like you are stuck in the mud. Oh, hold on a minute. I've just spotted a lovely patch of wildflowers that I need to quickly romanticise. They looked quite nice in the sunlight, didn't they? But I guess I'm here to say, if you are struggling, it is okay to just stop and walk. That is something I have really learned to just do. What are you doing? This is what I was waiting for to arrive. It came the next day. I think the driver just got held up somewhere. I now have my own personal coffee station. I mean, it needs a bit of finessing and dressing, doesn't it? It looks a bit sad with just the coffee machine and the knockbox on at the moment. I'll put some bits at the bottom there, maybe a plant, a mug tree or something, and thinking just general storage actually for coffee beans and other bits that I just tend to use myself and that Dean doesn't really use because he is a tea drinker, does not like coffee one bit. So even more of a reason to have my own little personal coffee station, because literally everything can just live here. So imagine that birch is stained almost a similar colour to this actually, and that there's a stainless steel worktop. It's going to look beautifully paired with the final kitchen finishes. Oh, it's the ratio trolley from Frama. I just realised I didn't say what it was or where it's from. Yeah, ratio trolley from Frama. Love it. And this bit here that the coffee machine sits on, that's actually a tray that you can remove. So I don't know, I guess if I was wanting to just completely change the purpose of it or switch it up, I could take that out. I think I briefly mentioned earlier, didn't I, that I'm currently on the hunt for a navy t-shirt, but I have specific requirements for this t-shirt, so it's making the hunt a little bit more difficult than I anticipated, mainly because I'm being quite fussy about how dark I want the navy. I want it pretty dark, and secondly, I want the t-shirt to be cropped and a little bit boxy. Now I have a short torso, so most regular t-shirts are far too long. So I'm looking for a cropped style so that on me it is a good length. It won't be cropped on me, I'm just looking at cropped styles because I know that they will hit me at the point that I want. One of the t-shirts I've ordered has arrived, so I thought I would do a live unboxing so you can get my actual first impressions. So this is from Studio Nicholson. I think it's called the Marine t-shirt, but I ordered this from Satire because it's currently out of stock on Studio Nicholson's website. I don't know if they're discontinuing it, but anyway, it was on sale on Satire, so I thought I'll give this a go, because normally any navy pieces I've tried from Studio Nicholson have been a really good shade of navy. I'm also being a little bit fussy about the weight of the t-shirt as well, so that's another thing, and it's very hard to kind of judge online what the feel and the weight will be like. Okay, looks pretty dark. I ordered this in a 6 because from previous experience, Studio Nicholson is quite oversized. First impressions, the navy could not be more perfect. But I knew it would be perfect because I know Studio Nicholson know their navies. Weight of it is nice. It looks like it could be a bit too boxy. This is where you realise just how pedantic I'm going to be about this. I think it's a bit too boxy. Do you know what? I'll try it on, then I can judge better. I take back everything I said about it being too wide. It's a really nice fit. Love the width, love the sleeve, shoulder, neckline, navy, perfection. The problem is with the length. It's too long. However, in the brand's defence, it wasn't described as a cropped t-shirt, whereas the other styles I've ordered are described as cropped. I've ordered one from Reformation, A Goldie, Arquette. I also have the Lisette Margot in the back of my mind. I have that t-shirt in a kind of faded blue colour, and it's a really nice fit, but the weight of it just isn't quite what I'm looking for. But I know it's available in navy, so I know that's kind of a backup if I feel like I really need it. But I'm confident I'll find what I'm looking for. But this look... Thing is, I'm 5'3". This looked so much shorter on all other models. That was the problem, and I didn't quite check model heights. Anyway, what I am looking for is, so most of my trousers, I wear the waistband sort of where my belly button is, basically. So I'm looking for a t-shirt that kind of hits sort of like, I guess, like middle of the button on my jeans here. So then that gives me a little bit of room to do a small tuck. It also means the back of the t-shirt will hang quite nicely, but could also be tucked in if I want. It's this excess fabric that I don't want. I mean, I could just take this to the tailor and have it shortened. I mean, I could try it myself, but I don't really want to ruin it. But I could, couldn't I? Because everything else about this t-shirt is spot on. I'm like, maybe all the other t-shirts when they arrive, they just need to be sent back. Unless, I mean, I'll open them and I'll see what they look like, but unless the weight of them is better than this, I can't really, like, everything else about this is perfect, apart from the length. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I just take this to the tailor. These jeans are going to the tailor this afternoon, just so that they hit me on the ankle. Should I take the t-shirt as well? It's really nice. Like I said, it's pretty spot on. Sorry, this is me sort of like trying to calculate things live right now. Like, okay. I did it. I took the t-shirt to the tailor to have it shortened. Apologies for the echo and the bad audio. Microphone died again, and it's quite a good one. I don't know why it dies so quickly. Anyway, for outfits, I'm going to do split screen type thing, because unless you're watching me on like a massive TV screen, I feel like you can't actually really see what I'm trying to show you, because I have to stand so far back to accommodate for YouTube width. The details are lost, and it's often the details, the colours and the fabrics that I get excited about and talk about, so hopefully split screen will kind of help highlight things a bit easier. Sandals are A. Emery. I posted these on my stories recently as a good option for fellow wide-footed people, because it can be difficult for us. These are great. The bit in between the toe does rub a little bit, but I started putting a leather conditioner on before each wear, and now it gives me no issues whatsoever. So just a little tip in case you are considering them, that little bit there, it can be it digs in a little bit, but the leather conditioners fix that. A piece apart spa pant in the sort of like washed navy. I wear an extra small in the spa pant. Studio Nicholson shirt from last year. However, I spotted in their new collection that they've done a collarless pinstripe shirt. I'm not sure what the fabrication is, but it looks very similar to this one. This one's silk, and I can't describe the colour. It is white, but it's almost a little bit grey silver. It's a cool toned white with a thin black pinstripe. It's a beautiful shirt. But to kind of warm up the cool tones, I've gone for gold jewellery, because I put silver on and it was all a bit too cool toned. And then bag is this sunmark bag, which has a lot of gold hardware, so I only really find myself reaching for this when I'm wearing gold jewellery, because mixed metals on me, I don't know, when I do it I don't think it looks right on me, but then when I see it on other people I really like it. But anyway, so I haven't been reaching for this bag as much as I was kind of like at the start of the year, because silver's had such a big moment and I've kind of got, you know, swept up in the silver moment. I kind of neglected all of my gold jewellery. Speaking of the jewellery, Monica Vinader bangle, PD Powell ring, PD Powell bracelet, Chandler earrings, always. Hard to get these off my ears at the moment. Whew, I have spent a large portion of the morning tidying the bookcase because it had started to look just messy. I like a bookcase with a lot of stuff on, but it basically just had cat toys everywhere. So I decided to give it a really good tidy, and I have organised it as well in a way that makes it easier for me to see the unread books versus the read books, because each time I came to the bookcase to select a new book, I was having to like scan through every shelf for the unread books. So this way it's a lot easier to pick them out. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you 3 books and quickly talk about them that I have read recently and loved, starting with Selfish Girls by Abigail Bergstrom. I was sent a proof. I think this is the first time I've been sent a proof. I felt very special being sent a book before it was released. So this is set in Wales, which I really enjoyed because I've been to Wales several times. So it was quite nice to be able to envision a lot of the locations. It's the story of 3 sisters and their very complex relationship with one another and their mother. Our window cleaner has just turned up, so I apologise if you can hear a strange noise. He's just doing the window right to the side of me here. And what was I going to say? It's that format of going back and forward in time, which I love. And I finished this book just wanting more. Like I just wanted to know what happened to every character's life forevermore, which is a really nice feeling at the end of a book. So that was much loved, really enjoyed that. And then on a very rainy weekend, I decided to sink into the couch and devour The Summer Book by Tove Jansson. I know I'm mispronouncing that. I really apologise. I know a lot of people will be familiar with this book. I hadn't come across it. And then I recently saw someone recommend it on Substack. This could not have been a more suitable book to just sit on the sofa for a whole weekend while it's raining outside and to just really, really sink into. It was, so it's the story, if you're not familiar with it, it's the story of a 6-year-old and her grandmother and father who spend each summer on this tiny remote island off the coast of Finland. It is largely based on Tove Jansson's childhood, and the relationship between the granddaughter and her grandmother is just brilliant, because the grandmother is quite like dry and blunt, and the 6-year-old is just a classic 6-year-old in that she just asks the funniest questions, so inquisitive. It's quite a humorous relationship between the two of them. When I was reading this, I immediately Googled, can you visit Tove Jansson's summer house? And you can, there's guided tours out there. It is quite a journey there, particularly from where we live. So I won't be going this summer, but I thought that's pretty cool. It's just such a delightful story, and the kind of observations of the island and the water and the plants and just kind of the atmosphere is so beautiful. And then you've got this relationship between this very old woman and this very young girl, and it's just really, really nice. I absolutely adored this. And then my most recent finished book, this absolute whopper of a hardback. I was just so eager to read this that I didn't have the patience to wait for paperback. This was recommended to me on the basis that because I liked Tomorrow and Tomorrow so much, I would probably like this. It has a video game element to it, but it's not as integral to the story as it is with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It's set between New York and Ireland, which was really nice. That back and forth in time type format again, which I also really like. It's difficult to I guess, oh sorry that I hit the microphone then, it's difficult to talk about the story without giving too much away, because it is so layered, and the way everything kind of weaves together and things get revealed chapter after chapter after chapter, you kind of don't really know what's going to happen next. Right up until the end, it sort of keeps you guessing. Then the very end is a touch predictable, but I still really enjoyed it. It starts with a girl called Cora whose mother is dead, and then her father dies in 9/11. And so she's left all on her own in New York and decides to, she receives a letter from an aunt who lives in a very remote part of Ireland. And then she decides to go and live with her, and then discovers all sorts of things about the family history and about her mum and her dad. And yeah, there's just a lot to unpack, a lot of trauma, and there's parts of it that were quite unusual. But for a debut, I just thought this was incredible. It gripped me from start to finish. Absolutely loved this. It's well worth carrying a hardback round. And that is it. A very simple outfit today, which I was thinking I could liven up a bit with this brooch, because it's quite big and bold. So I can just doosh right there, slightly off the centre, and that will just give it a bit of something. This was from the Kinraden Scowl collaboration last winter. I don't know if this was limited, so it might not be available anymore, but in the collection they also did a hairpin that was the same shape with like 2 prongs. Very nice. I've had one of those mornings where I've gone on a bit of a tidying mission, and I want to keep the momentum going, but I'm going to pop out, get myself an iced coffee so that I can kind of keep the momentum up, basically. Finish the bookcase, like I said, and now I'm going to crack on. Like when I get back, I'm going to tackle those cupboards underneath, because they are the types of cupboards when you open them up, things fall out. I don't really know what's in half of them, to be honest, so I want to have a really good tidy up of those. Extreme Cashmere, Scowl Studio, painter trousers. God, I'm really representing the Danes, aren't I? Scowl Kinraden, Scowl, Lee Studio, Extreme Cashmere are Dutch, I want to say. I might have that wrong. And then Sleepers, flip-flops, just the tapered ones. Right, I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to go out. What a difference 2 days makes. That was like, I felt like a completely different person on that run. It was amazing. It felt so easy, and I ran the same distance, the same route, and listened to the same playlist, and I wore the same clothes. So just the ups and downs of running. The award of Running Song of the Week goes to, actually unexpected, what is that on my top? Unexpected Running Song of the Week actually goes to Fatboy Slim, Right Here, Right Now. I heard it on the radio the other day. Obviously I have heard it before, but just kind of forgot that song even existed. And yeah, it came on the radio, and I was like, there's a noise in the background of that song that I really like, and it really sort of like focuses my mind. It's strange, but it's also amazing. And when I was running with it on, it was like I just kind of I almost felt detached from my body. It was really weird. I just wasn't thinking about any part of my body. I was just so zoned in on this like noise in the background of that song that before I knew it, I was like, oh, song's over. And it's a pretty long song. And I think I'd done almost a kilometre. I was like, oh, okay, wow. I will try to remember to do the award of Running Song of the Week each week, because I'm quite fussy about running music. I couldn't even tell you what the sort of like requirements are for it to be suitable to run to. I just know it when I hear it. I do listen to a lot of like music from a very specific kind of time in my teens, sort of like end of high school, start of college, like dance music. But then I can like also just add like, I don't know, a bit of Vivaldi on there as well, you know. I think it's just about a feeling and just kind of knowing it's right for running. And I wonder if there are others out there that struggle with running music, so maybe my running song recommendations might be of interest or helpful. I always want to know like what other people are listening to. I take back everything I said about having a kitchen finished by the end of August and feeling confident about getting it finished by the end of August, because we now have a big delay on the worktop. The worktop won't be installed until October, which at first I was like a bit gutted about. However, now that I really think about it, it is probably wise that we are no longer rushing to get this done, because I had started to lose my mind a little bit, and I was starting to feel a little bit stressed about not being able to find the correct stain or the correct combo of stain, oil, wax, etc., in time for getting the kitchen installed and finished. And I did fear that we'd end up settling on something that we didn't 100% love. So now I have a lot more time to figure out. I think we think we found the stain. It's just trying to figure out the best way to seal it to achieve the look that we're trying to achieve. So now I have more time. It definitely releases the pressure of both of us. I mean, Dean's face a couple of weeks ago when I said, let's try and get the kitchen done before we go on holiday, he was just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know what headspace I was in, thinking that we could build the kitchen in like less than 3 weeks whilst still working at the same time. Because I've got quite a busy August actually in terms of work. I've had a very lazy July. Felt so lazy. I was just like, what on earth is going on? But it's largely because I work with a lot of brands that are based in areas of Europe that do that whole like July holiday thing, which is a culture that we do not have in the UK at all. That, like, at least I don't know of it really happening that commonly. Like a lot of the Danish, Swedish, I think the French do it as well. There's loads of places that do it, like literally offices shut down for like the entirety of July, even some of August as well, and just everyone goes on holiday. And I think it's fantastic, but it does mean I was kind of like, I'm really not doing much in July. So yeah, had a very lazy July, and now August is feeling a lot. I think I've got about 5 sheets in the space of 3 weeks, which for an introvert like me is like panic inducing, but they're all with brands that I am feeling incredibly lucky to work with, and I'm very excited to shoot the product. So all good things. I've just gone from like 0 to 100 in the space of like a week. So actually, yeah, I think now giving ourselves 2 months instead of 2 weeks to build a kitchen is a lot more achievable. So we'll go on holiday at the end of August, full on holiday mode, and then we come back, it'll be Operation Kitchen. Also, I cannot wait for our holiday. I'm not going to tell you where we're going or what we're doing, because it's what I can only describe as a once in a lifetime experience. I don't think we will ever experience anything like this. We've just been invited on an incredible trip that's what I'm going to say. So yeah, we are beside ourselves with excitement for what we're going to experience at the end of the month. And I just really, really want to just like embrace every moment of it. So that is what we'll do. And then it will be kitchen. I'm beginning to wonder if the fennel will reach the height of the windows. It's not far away and it keeps going. This whole front section as well, where the purple flowers are, has really started to spring up. It was already at like a nice height, but I wasn't expecting it to have almost like another growth spurt. So everything's kind of going to a second wave of growing upwards, which is amazing, because this was all planted in May and it looks like this. It's impressive. There's also some bits at the back there. These are really shooting up as well. But yeah, I'm going to monitor the fennel over the next couple of weeks and see if it does reach the height of the windows. If it isn't already obvious by my very pink face and frizzy hair, the heat is back. in full force, you know, full on heat wave. It goes from nothing, the weather being very nothingy, to 30 degrees for the entire week. I am not complaining though. I'm very pleased the heat is back, because we had a really good 3-week spell of great weather. And when that ended, I feared that that was all we were going to get this summer. So I'm really glad it's returned. More opportunities to have barbecues and enjoy the garden. What was I going to say? It's Sunday, and I actually was going to sit out in the garden and just do some reading and actually enjoy being in the garden without getting distracted by jobs. I go out there with the intention of just like sitting, enjoying the garden, and I get completely distracted by a job. There's always something that could be tidied out there, or yeah, there's always a job to be done out there. Anyway, I've decided against that, and I'm getting myself prepared for next week, because I've got three partnerships to shoot next week, which fills me with a lot of anxiety, because I am not someone who works in a rushed manner, if you couldn't tell already. I have my own special pace, aka slow. So the idea of doing 3 shoots next week, I'm like, okay, I just thought I'm going to spend today like laying all the outfits out, making sure they look good, steaming them, making sure I know where I'm shooting and the types of shots I want to get, and that will make me feel way more set up for next week, rather than stressing about things on the day, in the moment. But whilst I've been unpacking stuff and trying things on, there are 2, I can't believe I'm saying this, jumpers. I am not even thinking ahead towards autumn at the moment, but what starts to happen in August and September is brands now want more autumn leaning content. So a lot of the product that I'm now being sent for partnerships is knitwear and jackets, which is mad in a heat wave, but it's always like this. But we go on holiday in 2 weeks, and I actually was thinking, because our holiday is in 2 parts. The first part of our holiday, we're spending a few days about 2 hours south of Spain, and south of Barcelona, and it's in a national park, and I'm wondering maybe in the evenings it might get a little bit cool. So one of these jumpers could be quite good for the evening. Anyway, this first one's from Toast. It's a cotton linen blend. It's navy. It has a sort of like, do you know what? I'm going to put it on, because both of these jumpers deserve to be put on so you can see just how nice they are. It's going to make my hair even frizzier. So yeah, it's a cotton linen blend. So it has a slight sort of rough texture, but the actual jumper itself is very like fluid and soft. It's not like it feels scratchy or anything like that. It just has a bit of texture to it. It has the rolled edges, which I think just makes it feel really nice and relaxed. Slightly high neck that's also rolled. It's a really nice knit. This with a pair of like white linen trousers, or, you know, like some loose white shorts, would be such a nice thing for the evening when it might be a bit cooler. And then the second jumper actually is from a different brand, but it's so similar in style. So this one's from J. Crew. This one's 100% cotton, so it's softer. This also is a bit thicker and heavier. I don't know if I'll take this one, just because taking both of those would take up a lot of room in my case. But this one also has that rolled edge, high neck. I quite like this actually with these navy poplin trousers that I've got on. So yeah, if you are someone who is excited about autumn and looking ahead to it already, both those knits are really nice. I think this like rolled edge is something we'll see a lot of this autumn and winter. It just kind of makes things feel a bit more like loose and chill, and hangs really nicely. I'm overheating. I've just finished filming a TikTok. I was going to say a reel, but no, it's a TikTok. I think I've done 5 or 6 ways I like to wear this skirt. I got this on Vestiaire Collective just over 2 years ago. It's from the Row. It's the birth skirt. And it's probably my best Vestiaire find to date in terms of discount. The seller was adamant that it had a stain on, and I couldn't see any stain in the photos. So I went for it. And I think I've told this story before. I examined it top to bottom, back to front, in every light, still to this day, have never been able to find the stain on it. I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it meant that it was like, I think it was like 75% off its retail price in the end. So a great find. It's such a beautiful skirt because the underlayer is cotton and then the outer layer is this really thin wispy linen that's a little bit longer than the underlayer. So you've got that really beautiful detail at the bottom there. Right now, I would love for full hot summer to return, or I would like a temperature where I can wear this. This is the type of outfit that can only really be worn in that kind of like small window that happens like mid-April and mid-October, where it sort of hovers around what, like maybe 12, 13. Sun's out, but there's a bit of a coolness in the air. I just quite like the thick jumper, wispy linen skirt. I tried to go out in my navy Ophelia the other day when it was 18 degrees. Madness. So hot. But yeah, I like everything that's going on here. So I'm going to bank it, screenshot it, ready for a day later on in the year when I can wear something like this without overheating. Would you like to see today's outfit? Starting from the bottom, working my way up to the top. Alaya mesh flats, the OG black version. I have had these now for, I think this is, 3 years. And I have found them to hold up really well. But I see people online saying how theirs have like fallen apart within a few wears. And I think it's been a classic case of, as the price has risen, the quality has gone down. Because I got these the month they came out, so before any of the price increases. And I think maybe that first year, the quality was like much better than maybe the ones that are coming out now. I am also so like in awe of how many times they can reinvent this shoe. Like they keep pushing it and pushing it. Each season there's like a new version. And I'm like, how many more versions of it can they do? The black original version, though, is my favourite. Shayna Moat Boy pant, trousers, with nothing underneath, hemp shirt. I can't remember if it's the hemp weekend or the hemp boyfriend, but it's not to be confused with the linen version. It's the hemp, because I think there's a linen green shirt as well. Maybe I think I saw. And what I like to do with this actually is I have been just doing like a really rough tuck at the back here. I'm not precious with it. I just grab it, tuck, don't worry about what it looks like. And that just pulls the shirt apart at the front here a little bit and just adds a bit of shape. And then bag is from a brand called Ellery. And I think the brown and the green look very nice together. I am now going to go to the tailor to pick up my navy t-shirt and those jeans. Myself and this very shiny face are going to end the vlog. Well, not without signing off, so that sounded so abrupt, like end the vlog. Obviously going to sign off. I'm going to vlog next week. I know, who do I think I am? But yes, I'm going to vlog next week, so there will be another vlog next Sunday. Obviously it'll be a lot shorter than this one because it's only a week's worth of footage. I will do some holiday packing. I also need to pick some books to take on holiday. We also have some gardening bits happening next week as well. And then there's all the kind of like general holiday prep. And actually I feel like there's loads of stuff to get done before we go on holiday. But it's always the way, isn't it? That week leading up to going away, it feels like a bit of a mad rush to get loads of stuff done all of a sudden. It's like all of a sudden your job list like triples and you're like, wait, what? Where did these jobs come from? So next week will be very much like that. And then, just my general pottering around, you know, how I like to do. So yeah, it won't be too long to see my face again. And thank you to anyone that replied to my kind of like half self-deprecating story that I posted the other day. What did I say? It was something like, maybe one day I'll overcome the barrier of self-doubt and upload more regularly. And obviously, because you're all amazing, so many of you sent really encouraging messages that actually really kicked me up the bum. I was like, do you know what? I didn't post this as like a pity party, but these responses have really kicked me up the butt. So thank you. And if I didn't get the chance to respond to your message, I do apologise. It is quite difficult with things like that to kind of reply to everyone. But I see them, and I am, you have no idea how much those kinds of things help, because I am the self-doubt queen. So yeah, I'll see you all next Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this absolute whopper of a vlog, and yeah, see you all next week for more of the same.